Oh, turn the music off. Hello. Yeah, am I in the best spot? I feel like I'm not in the best spot. I think that I'm going to be right over top of the cards. No, I'm not. Okay, perfect. Again, a reminder, everybody, please go check out the, everybody, please go check out the original video for my Twitch people. It is in the, it is the pinned, message for my YouTube people. It is in the description down below. We'll get rocking. This is Chew. 5 hand size, 32 health character. It's interesting. We had an article that said, hey, the most 7-handers that we have seen we've made in the game so far. Last set we had a bunch of 6-handers. We had 1 5-hander. This set so far we have 2 5-handers. We've doubled the amount of 5-handers that we've printed from last set to this set. So how cool. 665 hand size, 32 health character. Team Rokyu guy. I got it. Nailed it in one. Enhance as Earth Fire Order, important. Enhance if your non-throw attack deals damage, commit and flip 1 rival foundation. So I get to pick. If my move deals damage, I'm gonna commit and flip your thing. Boop. Wowzers. And the response, before your rival's ready step, draw X cards and discard down to your printed hand size. X equals the number of committed foundations in your rival stage. Max 5. Max 5. Okay. So if I have a good attack string, right, I get to have good defense. The response reminds me of like a little more active and engaged Midoriya 4, right? Midoriya 4 just said, at the start of my opponent's turn, I just draw 3 and then discard down. Chew has to work a little bit for it, right? I want to play the stun moves, but instead of just draw 3, discard down, it is I can draw up to 5 and then discard down, which is pretty good, right? I can just redraw my hand size. I got 5 on my turn and then 5 on your turn. 5 on my turn, 5 on your turn. I think the scariest part about this card is just the top enhance, right? If it deals damage, commit and flip 1 rival foundation, my opponent just like doesn't have resources anymore. They just like, hey, that one, commit it and flip it. It's the and flip that I think I have an issue with, that I think is so scary. But we'll look at his kit. First card is Drunken Uppercut. 4/3, 1 mid block, 5 low for 3. With powerful 3. So this is the second card that we've seen inside of a kit that just like doesn't have an ability, right? Like it doesn't do anything. It's just there to be a dunk, right? This can kill my opponent. It is a 5-speed move so that my character's enhance like is more likely to hit, and if they do decide to block it in order to commit out, it's so fast that they're going to be committing additional resources in order to not take the damage, so they don't selectively commit and flip my card. That I get to draw more cards as Chew to defend myself. I think this card is kind of perfect for this kit, truthfully. The thing about the powerful 3 is I think that you're not allowed to let this guy land very many moves, which means he's not going to have very much momentum. He's going to have to steal it. And so like this card puts a lot of like decision making on my opponent of like, is the 3 damage worth it? Is the momentum worth it? Is them committing and flipping a specific card worth it? Is it worth me committing 2 to 4 to 5 foundations in order to pass this 3 damage move? And I think play patterns like that on like, this is a common that's making me think this hard is very cool, very interesting. I like this card for his kit. I just don't know if it goes well with anybody else. The big question. This is an order punch though. Up next, we have his ultra rare, a card that I've already seen. 5/3, 1 low block, 5 mid for 5. It has stun 1. Enhance. If you took damage last turn, this attack gets +4 damage, period. So I think this is really interesting because this is a card that cares about last turn's abilities, right? This thing cares if I took damage last turn. A thing that we haven't really seen in the game. And then Chew Enhance. If this attack is not blocked and your rival has 8 or more committed foundations, you win the game. So this is interesting. You see this and you go, holy shit, if you just don't block this move, you win the game. I think this card has enough issues inside of your 5-hand size character that I think that it is going to be okay. I think that, like, your gut reaction to this card is, oh shit, there's a win con. You could be at full health, not block this one move, and lose. You kind of have to put yourself in that position, though, right? Like, you kind of have to put yourself there. This 5 mid for 5 stun 1. I think this card is fine. I think this card is fine. Yeah, he's a 5-hander. I think that, like, if I play this as my 5th move and you don't block it, I guess I should win. How dare I build 8 foundations? Use deadlock cards. You're fighting this character. You should know that that's his ultra rare. You need to play against this guy differently. And I think that is acceptable, right? When I take and I play against, we'll talk Jiro 2. When I play against Jiro 2, I have to block her moves, right? I just have to do that. I can't let her have the applause counters, right? She's playing her own separate game of, like, here's how I generate the counters and I win the game. This guy is, if you have 8 committed foundations, I win. If you have 8 committed foundations, right? If you have 8 committed foundations and you have a lock breaker on the board, or you commit your lock breaker, or better yet, you don't block early and he commits your lock breaker, then, like, he's doing his thing. I don't know. I think this card is totally fine. This card is totally fine. He also, like, so far does not have any draw, right? In his kit, you have to go find draw in other people's kits. I think it's fine. I think this is so fun. I think it's cool. In before, I get absolutely rolled on stream. His character draws on defense, not on offense. His character draws on defense. He has to go find it, right? It helps him sculpt. But yeah, that what I mean is, like, that's not going to be the 9th card played and it kills me, is what I'm saying. Ogre Boulder. 4/3, 3 mid block, 3 high for 5. Enhance, if your rival has 2 or more face down foundations, this attack gets +2 speed, period. Enhance, if your rival has 3 or more committed foundations, this attack gets +2 damage. Ranged, stun 1, team stun 1. So this is in him. It's a 4-diff, stun 2, 5 high for 5. If we play this second per se, and we have an additional card stun, or they started their turn with a committed foundation, it is a 5 high for 7 4-diff, which is a very good card if I want to Ogre Boulder, stun, it hits, selectively commit, and flip one of their cards. Play another Ogre Boulder, stun, this hits, commit a foundation. Play my ultra rare, stun 1. If they had one other card stunned, I've got my deathmatch online. And so I think this card is very cool. I think this card is beautiful for setting up. I think this card's neat. I think this card is very cool at breaking my opponent's board. I dig it. I like this one a lot. Up next, we have Ogre Killer. 4/3, 2 high block, 4 mid for 3. Ranged, stun 1. Enhance, flip one of my foundations. Your rival commits 1 foundation and 1 asset. Does he this thing just says foundations, right? In order of committed foundations. Yeah, I like the fact that we have asset hate, right? Your rival commits 1 asset and foundation. I like attacks and cards that interact with assets. They're, like, one of my biggest issues with set 1 is there was, like, a singular card that interacted with assets. It was on 3 symbols, and, like, it just, like, you had to remove it to touch every asset that existed. And so the fact that we have a new card that, like, interacts with assets to replace that is very cool. It's very cool. Yeah, I could see this card, like, existing in, like, sideboards a lot. Even if it is just, like, a little 3 damage move. If assets become, like, very, very potent, hey, commit your asset. I don't want to deal with it. I dig it. I dig it. Cool sideboard card at minimum. Onto some foundations. We have a 2/5, 2 low block, enhance commit. Rebel commits a foundation. I commit one. You commit one. Cool set one card though. You certainly wouldn't tell people to cut something like that from their sideboards. Well, maybe I'm playing a bunch of those assets, huh? Tim, huh? I'm playing at the HLC too. Just kidding. I think this card's neat. I think this card is fine. I think if in your 5-hander, committing a resource in order to make your stuff happen is fine. I commit one for you to commit one is a fine rate. It could probably have some other cool ability, right? Like I really wish they would have leaned into the team stuff a little bit more. Like these boring foundations. I'll air quotes. These boring foundations are like, imagine it has like Desperation 1 or something along those lines, or like if your character is on the team, it's a 1 low block, right? This card's neat. This card's fun. Enhance commit, your rival commits a foundation. Cool. Cool. This guy likes having his opponent's foundations committed. It makes sense. Up next, Stumbling Warrior. 2/5, 2 mid block, enhance flip. Your stun attack gets 1 speed and 2 damage. So this is neat. Flip, 1 speed, 2 damage. It's a 2/5 that gives 3 stats. I kind of wish it gave 2 speed and 1 damage, just because we have a card that says it doesn't want to be blocked, right? But at the same time, like, it's possible that if it was a 2 speed 1 damage move, that the win con would be a little too easy to pull off. I think this card is going to be very cool and limited, as long as there's enough stun attacks to play it. I don't see it having much use in constructed. It's just a 2/5, 2 mid block that like has 1 line of text. Once per game, your stun attack gets 1 speed and 2 damage. It's probably just not good enough. Up next, we're going to set the record straight. It is a 1/5/4 mid block. Enhance, discard 1 card, colon. This attack gets -2 damage, minimum 1. Another piece of damage reduction. I think it's very cool for this guy to have ways to empty out their hands, just because of how much they're allowed to draw on defense, right? Like I play my 5 attacks. My opponent has 5 cards committed. I respond with my character and I draw 5 cards, right? It is interesting that this card is like a way for me to filter out more cards. Like if I have 2 of these, I'll discard 2 cards for -4 damage. I essentially, if my opponent has a 5 damage move, right, I will discard 2 cards to block it, right? Yeah, this card's fine. It's a big hand text, especially in your quote 5-hand size character. This card might be very scary with like maybe like some 7-hand size characters that like have ways to like grab bonus resources. Like imagine something like obviously it doesn't share symbols, but imagine a character like an Asui 3 with this, where like on every attack we get to draw a bonus card. This is like every attack we can give -2 damage if we wanted to. Right? And that's the thing that I'm looking out for, is if there's any way to get like bonus stats on my cool moves. There's that. Yeah. Bakugo? Oh, that's interesting. Does he doesn't share these symbols, right? He's got Air, Death, Void. So we don't have it. Yeah. I think it's neat. I think it's fun. It's fun. Whoa, the first card with a lot of words on it. Look, and it has a team response. 2/5/2 high block ally unique. It has 4 symbols on it, which is neat. Look, 4 symbols. Enhance commit, enhance commit, discard momentum, mill 3, add 1 stun attack mill this way to your hand. That's very good. This is very, very good. A card that just says go find a stun attack is strong. In response, after your rival commits one or more foundation to your effect, this attack gets +1 damage. So a repeatable damage pump over and over and over. It says that whenever you tactically use that card and this card together, this card now says that my rival commits a foundation and I give it a damage, and I will draw a bonus card at the start of your turn, which is pretty good, right? So like, I'm gonna have to learn to pronounce this name eventually, right? Because it's on the card. Rokukai Huddle. So Rokukai Huddle is going to be like one of these build around cards for what Chew. Like we want this card. We can see this as like we play 3 of this inside of our 5 hand size character. Roku Yukai. I think I nailed it. I think I got it. Easy. But yeah, I think it Roku TV. Yeah, I think this is a good card. I do like the if we've got good stun attacks, going and picking up a stun attack is very neat. My question though, you guys, is do you like his kit? How do you like Chew? I think he's interesting. I think his kit is cool. I like the fact that he has this win con. I think the way that you have to play against this guy is different. It is neat. It's super, super neat. I think that he is going to have that classic bit of a slow 5-hander problem where like playing against like muscular or hood, where like you just like build to 35 and you look at him and go, what do you do? Right? I'm going to block out everything. I'm going to have enough resources, because the word deadlock hasn't been on any of these cards. I don't think we saw a single deadlock piece. So if I just like burst build out and go, I have 100 foundations, I've got 4 cards in my hand, you're never going to touch me with the win con. It just won't happen. I think they were good. Is Deadlock dead? Party time? I don't know. I like Deadlock. I think Deadlock is like a neat design space, but that's a different topic for a different video. I think it just depends on like how Deadlock is implemented. But c'est la vie. With that said, you guys, again, reminder, please go watch the original video. Big shout outs to UniVersus and UniVersus Academy for previewing these. Make sure that you come back to both the Twitch and YouTube channel for the other one. Doesn't he get snack time? He does. What I mean, Delirium, is there's no deadlock inside of any of these cards. We got shown 18 cards today, and none of them have deadlock. Right? None of these cards have deadlock, and these cards were made with these cards in mind. Obviously, when you start mixing kits, you can put whatever you want in these kits. Right? I have a cord that keeps falling. But with that said, thank you much, you guys, for watching. YouTubers, leave your YouTube frogs, leave your comments down below. What are you guys' thoughts? Obviously, you weren't here live on Twitch.tv to watch me and react along, but your opinions still matter to me. With that, you guys, thank you much for watching, and as always, I wish you well.